Welcome to Heaven's Kitchen. Hi, I'm Janelle. I'm taking advantage of this beautiful fall day. A lot of the folks are getting their final round of golf in before the end of the season. But the exciting thing is, it's postseason baseball. So I'm anxious to get into the kitchen and make something warm and hearty. It's not summertime baseball food. It's time for good fall food. So thanks for being with me. I'll be right back. Welcome back into my Eastman kitchen. It's definitely postseason baseball, which is really exciting. But I think I'm done with the hamburgers and hot dogs and fries because it's fall. So it's apple season, and I love apples, but it's also pumpkin season. So I'm gonna make a hearty, wonderful pasta that I know you'll love. And we're gonna make a nice pumpkin dessert as well. So thank you for being with me. I'm gonna get us ready to roll, and let's get cooking. Okay, so warning, not low fat. This is a tortellini with a pumpkin Alfredo. Right up my alley as it gets cold out. So obviously the first thing we wanna do, I got my water rolling here. We wanna get the tortellini going. And you gotta love tortellini because even though it's pasta, it's small. So if you don't wanna eat a big bowl of it, you just have a few. So I'm gonna drop the tortellini into our salted boiling water and let it do its thing while we get started on the Alfredo sauce. And what I think I will do, I'll slip my tortellini, and that's very hot. I'll slip my tortellini onto the other burner so we can work a little bit closer on our sauce. So let's just slide this baby over and let it boil up. And the thing about tortellini and ravioli, I mean, you can time it, of course. Doesn't take more than not even 10 minutes. When they float, that means they're done. So this unbelievable Alfredo. And I think when we did Alfredo on a previous episode, I did it in a small saute pan. The only reason why I'm doing it in a pan like this today is because we're adding this pumpkin, so I want to have plenty of room in there to stir it without splashing it all over the place. So I am going to start with a shallot, and if you haven't worked with a shallot, it's kind of a combo of an onion and garlic, and it just gives a nice flavor to our Alfredo sauce. So this is a shallot, and I don't need a whole lot, so I'll probably use half of it. Peel it the exact same way you would peel an onion. You just take the little paper off and just make a nice fine chop. And it has a nice flavor. You know, it is a combo of onion and garlic in the scent. I would say it's closest to probably a red onion. So I'm going to put a smidge of olive oil in my pan. I am going to put a little bit of butter in my pan, and we will let it warm up, chop up our nice little shallot here, and get the shallot sauteing. Okay? And I mean, if you're not big on oniony flavor, it's just because it is an Alfredo. An Alfredo, all the flavor of the Alfredo comes from the cheese. So if you want another little layer in there, that's why you put a little bit of this in it. And it just fragrances everything and gets things moving and grooving. So that is step one. Let me get my wooden spoon here. Actually, my spatula is even going to be just as good. Okay, so we're just going to saute that up slowly and let it do its thing. And then I can already start the can because this Alfredo is going to have the beauty of the cream and the cheese and the pumpkin. And up here in New Hampshire, some of these stores, this humongous can of pumpkin cost me $1.50 today. So I said, well, I got to do lots of pumpkin things, so that's why we're doing pumpkin pasta and a pumpkin dessert. So let me get this opened, because we're going to add this in a very short time. Okay. We're going to develop our Alfredo first, and then we'll mix the pumpkin into it. Tortellinis are doing fine. Keep your eye on them, keep them moving, because you don't want them to stick, obviously. They don't take long, as I said, at all. So we'll just keep checking on those. Let me grab our cream, and yes, it's heavy cream. You don't have to use heavy cream. You could use light cream, you could use half and half, but you know, there's a reason why we live in New England, so we can eat these wonderful, rich, decadent things and not have to worry about it until, you know, summertime. Unless you know, do some winter vacation and you're going to be putting a bathing suit on, but I'm not going to, so I'm going to enjoy this very, very much. And I'm having an issue with this carton here, so let me get that. There we go. Okay, so shallot sauteing gently. I can kick it down real easy. I am going to, very gently, we don't want to boil cream, we just want to get it in there and get it going. This is, you know, just a small carton. I'm not even going to use half, because I'm just using one package of tortellini, the small package, so I'll need about a half a cup of this heavy cream. So let's get that in there and get that moving and grooving. Okay, it's doing exactly what I need it to do. I've got to add some more butter, obviously, because what is Alfredo? Alfredo is cream and Alfredo is butter. So let's get a nice good, I'm going to call it, that's 4 good slices of, call it a quarter of a stick of butter. And this is enough to make just 2 servings, but double it, get 2 bags of tortellini if you want to do it for more people. But I like being up here and cooking because there are so many people who won't cook for themselves, won't cook for 2 folks, they think it's too much effort. So I like to show you how to do it on a low scale. You can double it, triple it, do whatever you need to do if you have, you know, a bigger family, obviously. So I am going to just drain the tortellini. It's already good to go. All I have to do is just grate some Parmesan cheese. Hang in for 1 second and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my Parmesan cheese ready to go. And I'm gonna go a little more gently on the cheese than I would if I was just doing a plain Alfredo, because I really want the pumpkin to be the really forward flavor in this. So I'm going to start just gently adding it. And I'm doing the Parmesan first because I want it to melt. The pumpkin is going to blend right in beautifully. In fact, I'll probably take a whisk because I think that will help me really blend it beautifully. And I had said the tortellini less than 10 minutes. It's literally 3 to 5. And when you come home from the market and you know you've had frozen food and it's not as frozen, shy to 3 minutes and you'll see that it's done. So I'm gonna watch my heat. Again, you don't want to break it. Break it meaning that if you boil the cream, it's gonna curdle on you. So we've got to watch our heat and just bring it up gently. Add the cheese a little bit at a time. Okay, and it's a nice fine grated Parmesan, so it's melting up quickly and beautifully. Okay. Then the pumpkin. Now, it's a to the taste kind of a thing. I would say if you're using a half a cup of cream, you're using about a quarter of a cup of Parmesan, quarter of a stick of butter. I would say maybe a quarter of a cup to a half a cup of pumpkin should be good. So let's estimate that's about a quarter of a cup. And as I always tell you, you gotta taste it. See what you like. I mean, you might like a lighter, just a hint of pumpkin. You might like it so much you want a ton of pumpkin. But the other beautiful thing about adding it is that it creates just an unbelievable texture. I mean, look at this. And Alfredo usually drips off the spoon. Now, I know it's hard for you to see from this distance, but it is a consistency of almost like a condensed soup. So it's nice and thick and fabulous. And what you do is you don't have to worry about how thick the sauce is, because you can always add a little bit of the pasta water to kind of thin it out if you need to. So as quickly as that, it looks tremendous. I, of course, have to taste it because I'm not sure, do I want a little more pumpkin? Do I want a little more cheese? I don't know. Oh, man. It's delicious just the way it is. I might add more pumpkin because I love pumpkin. So I'll do a smidge more of that. And generally the cheese is so salty. I don't add salt. If you like a saltier flavor, go ahead and do that, but do it very, very gently. I'll just add a smidge more of that. And let's, again, whisk it in, keep it going. Now, I am not gonna thin it out because I personally think once you put the tortellini in, which is gonna be really hot, obviously, and no matter how carefully you drain a pasta, it's gonna retain some water, obviously. So I'm not even gonna worry about thinning it. I think it looks tremendous. One more thing, it's possible you don't have one of these, but this is a nutmeg grater, and this is a little nutmeg. Anything that is heavy-duty green, like a spinach or a kale or a collard, you put a little nutmeg in. Anything at all that has pumpkin in it, you put a lot of nutmeg in. So I'm gonna grate some nutmeg in there. It will give it that nice little hint, that deliciousness that you get in a pie. Okay, this looks tremendous. I am going to plop a tortellini in there and try it. Oh, I'll plop two. Why not, right? So I just went with the basic cheese tortellini. I think it's gonna be incredible. And let me grab myself a fork and give it a try. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, that looks unbelievable, doesn't it? Oh. There's a reason this is Heaven's Kitchen, because I think I am in heaven. I'm gonna plate this up. I'm gonna pour a glass of wine, then we'll move on and we'll have a little dessert making. May as well have the other one. Delicious. I have so much fun playing in the kitchen, I lose track of time. First pitch is happening soon, so I gotta get us through this dessert. First thing we're gonna do is preheat Mary to 350, and I'm gonna give you the recipe list for a 13 by 9 inch pan. I'm actually gonna do a full batter, but make 2 small pans. That way we can have one for the game, and I have one to take home to Braintree tomorrow. So as I talk you through the recipe list, if you like the way it looks, just shoot me an email. I know it's kind of fast, it's hard to get them all in your head, but the first thing we do is we create the crust. Everything goes into the mixer. It's simple, you just put it all together, press it in the pan, bam, you're done. So we are using 3/4 of a cup of flour. We are using 3/4 of a cup of quick cooking oats, and I grabbed these, I'm not sure I have enough to get us through the winter, do you think? I think that's plenty. And then I need a 1/2 cup of butter, softened. If it's not soft, put it in the microwave, minimum power, say 2 or 3 power for 20 seconds max. You don't want it to be too soft because you won't have the texture that we need for this crust. And last but not least, real interesting ingredient, a small package of butterscotch pudding mix. Not the cooking kind, the instant kind. So, never made this before, but it intrigued me, and I have a feeling it's gonna be fantastic. Okay, so there's your crust. We're gonna put it in our mixer, blend it up slowly, and you'll see it's just gonna all come together in a kind of a thick type of a pasty batter. And then we are just going to turn it out with a spatula into our pan and press it down gently. And it takes literally no time at all. I'm going to kick it up just a little bit to get the butter going a little bit faster. And it's coming together very nicely. It's going to look crumbly. And, ooh, I can smell that butterscotch. Ooh, it smells delicious. Do I have a spatula? I do not have one that doesn't have pumpkin all over it. So let me grab another one. And as soon as you can pull this together and have it stick together, you're gonna be great. So it's a crumbly crust. It's the same thing you would use to make, I make these oat squares for the kids, and I usually put raspberry in them. They love them. So it seems kind of dry and crumbly, but have no fear. It'll all come together beautifully. And the beauty of this dessert, you don't even have to clean the bowl, because we're gonna do the filling